Hello, everybody. Thank you again for dropping by for this week's episode, or two, of Dead Money. I was so fucking shot last week, I actually forgot to mention at the start of the episode that this was in fact the Dead Money podcast. Just came right in with it. Not that I think it makes this tremendous difference anyway. I think when people listen to a podcast, they usually know what podcast they're listening to, but whatever. Today is another glorious day as Dead Money proudly presents its third ever all-time honorary guest. We've got something of a youngin' today, folks. 28-year-old Las Vegas cash game poker pro John Arndt is in the studio. That is the correct pronunciation, right, John? Aren't you Arndt? He's nodding his head yes. Okay, that's grand. John comes from Manchester. That's Manchester, Michigan, not Manchester, England, so don't get excited. One of my ladies told me that Manchester, Michigan is a small, quaint little town that's close to Ann Arbor. By now, I'd say John has been grinding in Vegas for about 4 years. The first time I saw him play with him was, I don't know, maybe like 3 years ago at the 125, and I know this is probably getting redundant. If you listen to me, then you know all about how I brood pretty hard over almost everyone I play with at some point. But John in particular, wow. This was like personal. I mean, fuck this guy. I legitimately wanted to kick his ass. It's not even that he did anything, but you got this fucking classic internet poker looking tool nerd coming into a $1,500 max game, petting his little 100 big blind $500 stack, and I was just thinking, oh, are you moving up in the world now? You've decided you've had enough of the Bellagio 2.5 with its stupid $500 cap, but instead of buying in deeper like a man, you're just going to take your little solver solutions that you've been jerking yourself off to every night into a game with a bigger cap. Well, all right, fine, you little fairy, let's go. And then I doubled him up. And not only did I double him up, it was at the very end of a session, and you know that's always 1,000 times more tilting. Quick little hand history. I raise with aces. He 3-bets in position. I 4-bet to 150. He calls. And, you know, we're about 500 deep. Flop comes Jack, 4, 6, rainbow, something like that. I check. He bets a quarter pie, bets 75. Okay, I call. Turn is a king. I check, and now he jams. And I call pretty fast, but I didn't want to. Because before he went all in, all I thought was, if he goes all in, I'm probably beat because it's going to be very conceivable for him to think that I have ace-king and decide to just check the flop after missing since we have a really low SPR, so it's going to be hard to barrel him off. But then opted to see a turn card after facing such a small flop bet, so if he's jamming a turn card that's supposed to smash me, then that should mean he can beat ace-king. And if he can beat ace-king, then why wouldn't he be able to beat aces? And if he can beat aces, then why am I calling? Because you know this little fucker who doesn't quite look like me, but also doesn't look vastly different from me, you know he's just going to have it. But I called because of... And that's pretty much it. Tell me that's not what your inner dialogue basically sounds like when you know you're about to call and lose, but have decided you're going to anyway. And with the line I took, I thought, hey, I have an excuse for losing. What could be better than that? I already know he's going to have a set of jacks. And then he just has a set of jacks. And he doubles. Then he was probably tugging it some more on the inside, texting his lab buddies about how he lured me in with the small flop bet and then having me turn top pair drawing dead, when the truth was, he was just on the right side of a cold deck. Because I didn't fucking show him I had aces, no way. Let this little shit think he owned me completely. So that's how John and I became familiarized on the table. And just regardless of this hand, I must say, over all the years, I never seem to match up very well with guys who fit his profile. You know, the younger players who play online a lot, they never seem to do what I want, and I always seem to do what they want. But from a person-to-person matter, like I also always say here, lots of people whose head I once wanted to chop off with an axe soon came to grow on me, and one night there was a large dinner gathering of poker players that John was present for. I was sitting near him, and we got to talking, and I was like, all right, he's fine. Then I got to telling him about that hand, and he confirmed, yeah, he was giddy about it for all the reasons I'd thought. Unbelievable. But that's all ancient history now, because John has been like clockwork this last year. On what few occasions I actually get my ass into the casino, not only do I always see him in the same game, he's always in the same seat. Ever since the Win 510 did away with its straddle and replaced it with the $10 big blind ante, John has been a reg week in and week out. So now he really has been moving up in the world, so good for him. But what's interesting to point out is when I moved to Vegas towards the end of 2008, I was 23 and jumped right into 1020 at the Bellagio. Now, that wasn't my only game. I played a lot of 510 also at the B and the other rooms, but starting with my first year, and over the next 7 to 8 years at least, there were more than just a few winning regs that were in their 20s. Now, a lot of those guys have moved on in life because they're smart, but there's still a number of regs from that time that are still around. Only now they're just in their late 30s and 40s. But times have changed, and it doesn't seem like there's that many pros anymore in the bigger games that are under 30 years old, but John is one of them. So let's talk to him. John, you're about a year into your era now of high-limit poker, and it's funny for me to bear witness to, because of all the ways I can see some of myself in you. But what kinds of things did you see on your way to where you are now, and why do you think there's far fewer players around your age with both the brains and the balls to be doing what you're doing? Because in my day, when I ran the streets, there were guys like you all over the place. So what's going on?
Yeah, thanks for the introduction, Dan. Happy to be here on the Dead Money podcast. First off, literally all of your reads were right. I was playing Bellagio 2-5 with the 500 cap, day in, day out, just in jail there, basically. You know, it's an okay game, but you do kind of start to hate your life if you're playing a 500 cap 2-5 game every day for 6 months. Then I go to the Win, and all I hear about is how good the regs are. And with my first week there, I just fucking stack you, who I know is like the reg in the game. So I was feeling pretty good about it. Like, wow, I trapped you, I'm a genius. And then you have to like burst my bubble and tell me, no, I had aces. You got fucking lucky. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, when I came back to poker about almost 5 years ago now, I sort of put myself on like an injured rehab assignment and went to play the Bellagio 2-5, and I was in it for a good 5 or 6 weeks. I mean, it wasn't the only game I was playing, but yeah, I know just what you mean. It does feel a little bit like prison.
Yeah.
Because you got this little cap, and if you go below the cap, like, you have to top up. Like, you got to get right on it to top up. Like, and I'm pretty slow to do that.
Yeah.
So I'll be sitting there with like $300-400 for a few hands. I'm like, yo, you got to get on this. Like, It's like you can't be sitting here this shallow. I mean, when you got 1,500 at the Win, and you go down to 1,200-1,300, I may not even bother topping up it for a little bit, because it's like it's a much smaller percentage. You're still going to cover most of the table, but yeah, you got to be on it at the Bellagio.
100%. Yeah. So going with what you were saying about why I think there's so few people playing at my age now, I think it's just because they're not fucking idiots. And like, it's not broadcast on TV. Like I started playing poker, and I could have, like, it wasn't like a cool thing to do. Like, when you started playing poker, right, like, everyone fucking played poker, and it was like, yeah, this is a legitimate cool thing to do. I start playing, I'm playing on like shitty sports betting sites, none of my friends play, and it just bit me and I got hooked on it. But I don't think it's happening for that many people my age anymore, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 12 years older than you, and I was 18 when Moneymaker won, and that's when they were starting putting whole card cams on TV, and that's when poker really blew up, of course, and everybody and their mother was playing, okay? Everybody's playing tournaments, everybody's playing in living rooms and basements on Friday night. I mean, just everybody was into it. And, you know, over the next couple of years, it would fizzle out, and there were hardly any people left standing. So I guess that's by the time you get into it, that's the way it is. You know, anyone who's into it now is only because they're really, really drawn to it, not because it's the thing to do. So I guess I'm just curious, what was your first exposure to it? And was there anyone around you that was interested? Because I couldn't play that often, but I could play close to every week. I mean, maybe a couple times a week or something. I mean, but how did it get started for you up in Manchester, Michigan?
Yeah, well, the legendary Manchester. I played like a home game with friends. I mean, this is like the classic story. And I liked it a lot and just decided like, okay, fuck it. I'll put $30 on, play poker on like the Bovada sportsbook site. And I would just like load $20 or $30 on there, play like 5 cent, 10 cent, and just kind of dust it. And just like that happened 4 or 5 times. And then eventually I read a bit, learned how to play, like learned that you shouldn't limp when I say know how to play. Like learned that probably you shouldn't limp. Some idea of like what a profitable hand to play is, that kind of stuff. And then pretty quickly I started doing okay, like winning more than I was losing. And then it just kind of took off from there.
And you were what age when you got started on this?
22? Yeah, 22 or 23.
So were you a college student by then, or were you out of there?
Yeah, I was in my victory lap 5th year in college. I started playing, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't finish college. I did a couple years at a community school, then I transferred to a real school, but within a month I was out of there. And even then, playing upstate New York at SUNY New Paltz, I was playing a little bit on Full Tilt, and I busted my account so many times, but like I also was cashing out frequently. So like I was winning.
Right.
But I was like, I would cash out X amount of dollars or whatever, then I would bust it, then I'd reload some of what I won, run it up, cash them out, bust it again. I mean, I busted it so many fucking times.
Yeah, like use the money, go buy like a laptop or some bullshit that you don't really need. Go back on there, grind more. Yeah, it sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, I mean, how much of it was just playing for a high in the beginning? Because I think my first few years, as much as I did enjoy the game and was serious about getting somewhere worth talking about in poker, at the same time, I feel like I was just playing for a rush, too. Because whenever I would play online, if I would just win a big hand early within the first 15 to 30 minutes, I would just stop. And then I'd come back a few hours later.
Yeah.
Or if I was losing, then I'd sit there and grind. I mean, I basically do everything you're not supposed to do. If I was losing, I would move up in stakes, which you're not supposed to do. Yeah. If I was winning, a lot of games I would start playing 1-2, and if I was winning at 1-2, I would just stay at 1-2. But if I start losing, 2-4. Lose there, 3-6. Losing there, 5-10. I mean, I had one day where I think I started at 1-2, and by the end I was playing 50-100.
Jesus Christ.
I think
a different world back then.
Yeah, I think I only had like one day where I was grinding like 6 hours, and it's because I got down 8,000, and I never been down anywhere close to that.
Right.
And then I got out of it. I got even.
Oh, sick.
And I was like, all right, well, fuck it. I was like, I still haven't made money for today. I was like, why don't I just keep going?
Yeah.
And then I got down 8,000 again. This has never happened even once, and now it's happened twice in the same day.
That's like suicide fuel.
I mean,
just fucking end it.
So I just kept going. I've not given up. I'm just in my bedroom in my parents' house. like this is the same fucking bedroom that like I did homework in, or like would get sent to, and
I'm stuck 8K.
Now I'm stuck 8K twice in one day, and I got out of it a second time. And by the second time, this 32K swing day, I was like, all right,
yeah,
that's enough.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
Very reasonable.
But yeah, I mean, I look back at those times, and it's like, God, I feel like such a gunslinger compared to now. It's like I feel like, oh my God, I'm like, yesterday I lose about 2,500 to 2.5 because of a whole shitstorm of things that happened at the end. But I'm like wanting to like faint. Where back in the day, years ago, I mean, yeah, it's like totally fucking your world up when you're down 8K in one day and you don't even know what this money's even worth yet.
Right.
But you keep coming back, get out of it, get down, get out of it again, and at the end of the day, like, all right, well, let's do it again tomorrow. Like, it's...
Yeah.
I didn't have that many miles on me back then.
Yeah, you hadn't been damaged.
No.
You're like a virgin, and now you You gotta learn.
So when did you get the inspiration to... one day we all wake up and say, hey, I think I want to move to Vegas. So what was that day like for you? And how long did it take... From the time you decided you want to move here until you did it, how much time passed?
Yeah, it took about 4 months, probably. I graduated college during COVID and just, immediately lost my job. So I'm running bad.
Wait, what was your job?
I was going to go, teach English in Japan.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't, I couldn't get on the flight because of COVID. They weren't accepting fucking flights into the country, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just sitting at my parents' house, playing online poker all day, waiting to, be allowed to go start working. About a year had passed of that in my life. I'm just fucking living with my parents, not really doing anything. It sucked. So I was finally just fuck it, I'll move to Vegas. And I wasn't ready to move to Vegas at all. I didn't have enough money. I wasn't really good enough at poker, blah, blah, blah. But then I met another kid who was also moving to Vegas. And I was like, well, fuck it. I found a roommate. We'll be able to get our stuff out there. Let's run it. We'll do it. And that was that.
That's a really excellent way to do it, just leap and it appears. You go to a place, you don't know what the plan is going to be, you figure it out when you get there.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what I did. I mean, I moved here and was already rolled to play 10-20, and I'd already been playing full time for most of that year, and I guess had been a part-time pro for the last couple of years. So I was working at it and saving for a while, so that by the time I did it, I was ready for...
You were ready.
Ready to spill blood and guts everywhere.
Right.
That said, though, I didn't have a plan in the sense of hours. I didn't have goals. I just trusted that I'd be fine and that I'll be able to get this done. I've been winning these last few years. I'll figure it out. I'll be fine.
Sure.
I had no doubt whatsoever that I'd be able to do it.
Right.
I just didn't know what I didn't know what the unfolding process was going to look like because I actually was playing mostly online up to that point. I mean, I always thought of myself as a live player, but I couldn't play live that often. I mean, I played a little bit around Manhattan, and I didn't even go to Atlantic City until I was 23. And other than that, it was just playing online. And I think the early part of 2008 is when I promoted myself to full-time play, and that was also around the time internet play was starting to get a little tougher. And I could notice it, and I didn't feel myself eager to catch up.
I mean, the internet play used to be just ridiculously soft, right? When you first started.
It was a total fucking circus. It is just unbelievable to think how I was 21. And when I went on a run for a few months, I thought I'm a fucking boss.
Yeah,
I mean,
you think you're Ivy.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's still plenty of guys better than me, but I also know that I'm feeling like a freaking badass, and it's I'm one of the worst players to ever play poker,
right.
And this is still good enough to win.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was playing mostly heads up, a little bit of six max. Yeah, heads up. I was Fast and Furious, looking for the rush. Give it to me, baby. Just you and me. I mean, I would play full range sometimes, but I was yo, fuck this. This is not enough. I want it now. Bam, bam, bam. So I would not have moved to Vegas to play 1-3 or 2-5. I mean, I don't think I would have wanted to do that, even though I know it's what most people do, because you just wanted to make a play. You were ready to do something. I mean,
right.
It was just one day to the next for me, too. One day I was you know what? I think I want to move to Vegas. I think it's because I played a little bit in Atlantic City. I just jumped into 5-10, and then within a month or two, I tried a couple games at 10-20. And I was you know what? I was I think I can do this, and I want to do something outrageous. I want the toughest, most competitive place to play.
Yeah.
I want to push this thing as big as I can and for as far as I can and really see what my threshold is. Now, it's interesting because we all want good games. We all hate grinding bad games. So then why do you move to Vegas? So it's you want the best games within the most prestigious city to play.
Yeah.
You're not looking to play in shitty games.
Yeah.
But Vegas is... I don't like playing anywhere outside of Vegas. I think Vegas has the best run rooms. It has by far the least bias among floor staff to people. And that's not to say there isn't any, but you go to some bumblefuck town, I mean, it's going to be even less. Here's a fucked up story. When I played in Reno in 2009, I drove up all the way up to Tahoe to see this girl. And, Tahoe is very close to Reno, so I was playing 1-2 at the Peppermill, okay? And I can't believe I didn't blow a fucking gasket on this floor, man. Like, somebody, we get into a pot, I don't even remember what the action was. I know this old guy says, call and raise.
Call and raise.
That's what he said, call and raise, like in a movie. And they allowed this raise to stand. They didn't shut him down because he said, call. You think he would have extended that courtesy to me? This fucking 24-year-old babyface who's never been in this fucking room? You think they're going to give that to me? The floor man allowed this raise to stand. I mean, you would not have seen something like that in Vegas. So,
no, not a chance.
You do get spoiled by playing here because it's a great city to play in, but it's also a dangerous city to live in. You got temptation everywhere. But if you can make it in Vegas as a poker player, then you know you can make it anywhere, and I maybe think that's what inspires a lot of people to come here.
Yeah, and just, we're playing at the fucking Wynn. It's the nicest place, nicest casino in the world, and we just get to show up there and play every day. Like, you get spoiled, and it's pretty cushy, and it's easy, You got good floor, good staff. It's a really easy place to come in and grind poker.
It's where the best players, winning players, really deserve to play. And I've been in Vegas almost 17 years now. I've seen plenty of people just come and go, flash in the pan.
Right.
And you could tell which guys are prone to be in that because, the way they start playing when they're losing and how their A game is not that good to begin with.
Yeah.
And I guess all the players who do make it here figure out at some point that they are good enough to be here and that they do belong. Even if nobody told them anything, you can just get a sense for it. So you were playing, you said you started at 2-5 Bellagio here? You didn't do 1-3 first?
No, 2-5 Bellagio.
Yeah, I mean, and there are 1-3 games with a cap just as big, some even bigger around town. So it doesn't really matter what the blinds are necessarily, just the cap. So, I mean, how soon after getting here did you feel like, you'd be okay for as long as you want to be?
Oh, it took a while. I mean, I showed up here and I had $20K to my name. Like, I did not have enough money. And I was winning in the 2-5 Bellagio game, but I wasn't winning a lot. Like, I was probably making $30 an hour, let's say, and didn't get off to a great run with it. My confidence was not good, and it really was not working great at first. It took probably 8 or 9 months to really think, like, okay, I'm a solid winner at 2-5, and I'm not going to, go broke and have to admit I'm a fucking loser, move back with my parents. It took a little bit of time.
Did it ever keep you up at night for,
Oh, for sure. I was, pretty quickly I realized, okay, there's not a pension, there's not benefits in poker. You need to fucking be good and win. And it was I was obsessed with getting good enough to where, I could overcome not having the perks of, a normal job, if that makes sense. Where I was if I'm sacrificing all the shit that comes with a normal job, I need to be good at this.
Yeah.
I was just obsessed with it.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit like me. I mean, when I got here, I wanted this so bad. And that's pretty much what it takes, because if your interest is only 99.99999, you're fucked. And I would beat myself to shit for days. I'd be nocturnal. I would sleep 12 hours a day. I'd be up all night. I'd be writing weird shit. I'd be dreaming weird shit. I'd have nightmares for weeks at a time. Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, how did I not lose my mind here? I mean, I made a mistake once playing at Foxwoods. I was on a trip with some guys. My brother was there, and I fucked up in a game, and I was just so dejected about it. I was like, I need fucking therapy. I was like, this is not normal, okay? You cannot get this fucking depressed for this fucking long over a mistake.
A mistake in a game. You didn't, fucking cheat on your wife.
Nah.
You made a mistake in a card game.
Yeah.
It's your life is over.
My biggest fear was not making it as a player, and that mistakes like these would lead to my demise. And
Right.
And that's what happens when you're a bit of a perfectionist, which I'm certainly not as much as I used to be. It's when you're a perfectionist, you don't notice anything you're doing except the mistakes you're making, and that turns into the point where now you're thinking
you're only making mistakes. And you are completely overlooking
all the good stuff you're doing.
All the good stuff you're doing. And when I went to see this therapist, this guy, he was a problem gambling therapist, which wasn't exactly my problem. I didn't have a gambling problem, okay?
Right.
My problem pertained to gambling.
Right.
So I thought maybe it's good if I go talk to this guy. And most of the time what your problem is, it's not even what you think your problem is, because we barely talked about why I even went to see him in the first place. Right. We barely talked about self-esteem as a player. We barely talked about being perfectionist and scrutinizing too much. We just talked about other shit, and after 5 or 7 meetings, I was in a better place. And then I went on this crazy fucking run the last 2 or 3 months of the year, and ended up having a really big first year, and I'm just like, this whole time, I've been playing fine. I've been making mistakes on occasion, but I'm doing fine. And that brings me to something I've talked about here on the show a couple times, is this thing I've developed in the last few months. I'm really seeing poker for what it is.
Okay.
After decades of play, is this floating invisible numbers thing going on. I mean,
yeah.
I've had a hard time articulating exactly what it is. I'm thinking I'm getting a little better at it. First, I want to hear, since you and I have talked about it off the microphone,
yeah.
I want to tell me what your understanding of it is, and I'll tell you if you're correct.
I mean, what I think it is like, let's say you're in a hand, and this decision is worth 10 points. You're going to make the correct 10-point decision. If you do that enough times, you're going to make more money than everyone else. And it's not always going to be perfect. You're not going to win the pot every time you make the perfect decision. But if you're nailing the perfect decision time and time again, eventually, with enough sample, you're going to be the big winner in the game. That's kind of my understanding of what you're saying.
Yeah, in principle, that's essentially what it is. And one day I just had this vision of like just seeing these little objects floating around the table, because we all know there's more out there than what meets the eye.
Sure.
And it's like, yes, every decision has this intrinsic value, but it's not even just the decision you make. It's what your thought process was going into the decision. It's like, if you're thinking about things that make sense, you can arrive at the same decision as somebody else, but if you thought about things that made sense and they didn't think about them, your decision was still worth more. And like you said, you got 10 points and maybe they only got 5.
Right.
And like, when you're piling up points, like, this money has to find a way into your stack. It has to.
Yeah.
Because why are certain players making so much more money than other players? Because there's so many decisions we all make.
Right.
There's so many things we all come to the same conclusion, and it's like, but if we get there for a different reason, or we get there at a different speed even, that says something. So I have a good example from yesterday of this concept, where I had just transferred into a game, and by the way, before I table changed, I had this weird feeling that something bad was about to happen. But I just said, fuck it. I'm God damn it. This is a better game. I'm going to the fucking better game.
Yeah, you're here to gamble.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I mean, so we got to set the stage here. So within my first or second hand is a straddle. I raise to 45 over a limp with queens. And of course, I get promptly 3-bet by one of the blinds to 165.
Classic.
Okay, call. Let's see where this goes. And you're almost halfway hoping for either an ace-king flop or just a queen-high flop. I'm just rooting for an easy decision.
Easy decision.
I don't care what decision I have to make. I just want it to be easy.
Sure.
So the flop comes 9-5-5 rainbow. I'm like, all right. And he only bets like a third or 115. I don't know. He didn't bet that big. So you can call. I mean, I know calling is fine. I just thought I can raise, though, too, and still get called by worse.
Yeah. I like race.
So I make it 265, and he jams another 1,300. And god damn it, I mean, this is tempting. This is fucking tempting, because what if he's just going nuclear with jacks or tens and just doesn't want to see overcards come out, doesn't want to play the rest of the pot, maybe thinks I look aggro, just doesn't want to play the hand, they panic.
Yeah. You can just have ace-king.
Yeah.
That's the hand you bluff.
Yeah, so I thought, you know what, if he had tens or jacks, he might have come out betting a little bigger on the flop. So I'm just going to let him have it because time after time after time in this spot, they just fucking have it. And it doesn't make sense for him to rejam kings or aces here, but that's the whole thing. They think, oh, he would never think I'd do this with aces or kings, but it's like, yeah, no, it doesn't make sense.
You're right.
But you know what makes sense? You having a huge hand when you stuffed 1,500 in.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if your line made any sense. What does make sense is that you have a huge hand. Okay, so I lose this 3-bet pot with queens, to lose a little bit in a shallow pot. All right. The table should not assume you're about to start blasting, okay, just because of this little fucking hand you lost, okay? So then the next hand, I got queen-jack, late-ish position, or middle-ish position. I raise, goes 3-way, comes ace-jack 10. I'm in position. We all check. Turns a deuce. Now the big blind check min-raises me when I bet 30 into 60. And I know I should probably fold, but I'm just, fuck this. I'm calling it. Okay. And hey, how you doing? I hit Broadway, hit the king. Yeah, he check calls 45, so I win a little something back. But now, we're gonna get to this floating numbers thing in a minute. It's just this hand. I raise it's a 20 with ace 9 of diamonds. There's one call. The guy who I just folded the queens to 3-bets to 65, and the small blind who had just checked min raise and then called this bet on the river, he cold calls the 65. And now I do something that I don't like doing at 2-5, and that's 4-bet bluffing because the 3-bet ranges are so tight. But
pretty strong 3-bet range.
Yeah, I mean, these are the spots I'll do it in. If he had 3-bet to 80, I would not have 4-bet. When he 3-bet to 65 with a caller in front of him, now I'm just going to err on the side of aggression and say, all right, maybe this is just some bullshit-ass 3-bet. It could be just ace-queen off, some type of hand that isn't going to be happy to see a 4-bet. So. Yeah, so I make it 270. First flatter folds, 3-better folds, and I think this is going to be it. But no, now the small blind cold calls again, 270. So I got so I got position on him at least. The pot's got about 630, I guess. And the flop, dream flop, 10 deuce 3 rainbow, no diamonds. Exactly what I had in mind for ace 9 diamonds. Couldn't be better. He checks. And I'm thinking, God, I got nothing, but I'm just going to airball my way to victory here. So
what does he have?
Yeah. I bet 180, and I know I'm not getting a fold yet. And he calls. Turner is a jack of clubs. The jack and 10 are both clubs. Now I'm a little nervous because I'm a little worried he might think I could have ace-king because ace-king has reason to barrel this card and blah, blah, blah. So to make a long story short, he checks. I jam a little over pot with 11 or 1200, and he calls with pocket fours and holds.
He's a genius.
Okay, you win. I mean, and I just got to thinking after, if I was thinking to merge with 6s or 7s here, which I didn't have, but if it was in my mind that I would merge with 6 or 7s here, 6s or 7s and 4-bet, with the intent of trying to barrel somebody, assuming I don't get lucky and hit a set. These are situations where people will fold queens to this situation, and there are people who will call with 4s.
4s, apparently.
So you can, you can jam here, bluffing higher pocket pairs like 8s or 9s with 6s or 7s, or potentially get fucking heroed and have them fucked when they call with a little baby pair because
super own them.
Because now I was not thinking about that ahead of time.
Sure.
If I had 5s or 6s or 7s, could I have 4-bet?
It's possible.
Maybe. I might have thought of it just because this is all this dead money out there. This 3-bet looks like bullshit. Hey, I got equity with my little pair, if nothing else. So I'm not saying I would not have 4-bet there. I mean, I very easily may have just lazily tossed in a call and set mine like we do all fucking day and never hit it. So, but the thing is, okay, so here's the floating numbers. If I was thinking about ahead of time if it was already in mind that I would 4-bet with 6s or 7s here with the intent of merging against higher pocket pairs or get hero by lower pocket pairs, that is worth something.
That is worth something.
That has an intrinsic value, even though it doesn't show up anywhere in this hand. Nobody knows you're thinking. It appears irrelevant. This thinking matters. Like, having this approach matters. It's valuable. And because of that, this fucked up game, like the money has to come back to you somehow. It just has to, because you're making all these good decisions. So when I went on this sick run at the end of 2009, how many floating numbers was I picking out of the air and just didn't know it? Because even if you don't know you're picking them out of the air, you're still doing it. It's worth more if you do know you're doing it. Yeah. But you're doing it regardless. So it's just wondering, how did I get on such a fucking sick run? It's because I was doing a lot of things correctly that I wasn't giving myself any credit for. It was just being too hard on myself. But look, you can be as hard on yourself as you want. Math is just math. It's going to come back.
Right. And, if you ever played against Mr. Pocket Fours guy again, you probably would turn sevens into a bluff. If this exact situation came up again, you probably would turn sevens into a bluff, thinking maybe he's going to call something better, maybe he'll fold something better, call something worse. Now you know.
Yeah, no, it is something I'm going to keep in mind for, like, if it ever comes up again. It could be 2 years before this happens. I mean, but It's just something I'm going to keep in the back of my mind. So, all right, so you were playing the Bellagio 2-5, then you're playing the Wynn 2-5 for what, about 2-3 years?
Yeah, 2 years probably.
And you decide, all right, I'm doing well enough now, I'm ready for more. I mean, so you're an aspiring player. Like, you're interested in, you're not just trying to make money and live life, I mean, obviously you're doing that, but, like, you want to see how big you can take this thing, right? How big can it really get? Because that's exactly what I wanted to know when I got here. How big can this thing really get?
Yeah, 100%. Playing higher is more fun. You get the ego boost of, wow, I'm the shit. I'm playing the big game in the room. I'm the best. You make more money. Yeah, for sure I'm drawn to playing as big as I can. No doubt.
No, I know. I mean, look, there's a gunslinging feel to it. You feel like a friggin' badass. And even though you're probably not ever going to be a sick enough person to play nosebleeds, where you need such personality dispositions that something that you and I couldn't even comprehend. Like, it's like you wouldn't, like Ivy, the way he gambles in the pits, like, I mean, he's a fucking animal.
Yeah, no normal person is doing that.
Yeah, like, I don't want to fucking do that, but that's kind of what it would take to play as high as he plays and as big as all those other guys play. It's like, you're not just like, all right, I'm picking my kids up after school at 3, and then I'm going to the 501k game. That's not how it works for anybody.
No. Different animal, different life, for sure, if you're playing that big.
Well, I'll just tell you, I mean, it's a person figures out their threshold as they go along, and you never know when you're going to hit your wall one day. It could be in 10 years. It could be in 2 years. It could be 20 years. I'll tell you when it hit it for me. One day I had like a 17-hour day. Not a 17-hour session, but a 17-hour day where I played 10-20 at the Bellagio and I lost. Went to 10-20 at the Aria and lost. Went down to the 5-10 at the Aria and lost. Went to the 5-10 back to the Bellagio and lost.
A lot of losing.
So 4 straight losing sessions. I remember it was only like 6,400, which it's a hefty enough loss for a day. But by that time I'd taken more than just a few losses that had well exceeded that. But I was on a tough run for a while, and it was like 7:30 in the morning at the Bellagio, and this is like your max off-peak hours at a casino.
You're playing the Tom game.
Yeah, exactly. Tom. Yeah. In fact, one of the last hands I lost was to Tom. I had just doubled somebody up in a spot where I tilted it off, and then I think I 3-bet Tom with ace-jack suited, and he just like rips it on me. Right. And I was just like, I'm not you're not doing this. You're not punting to him, okay? Fold and leave. And I did, so I give myself credit for that. Yeah. So I was just furiously pacing in the Bellagio slots, just pacing back and forth. And then it just hit me out of nowhere. All of a sudden I just had this thought where it wasn't mine. The thought came to me, where I was like, I don't even care about this anymore.
Right.
And I was only about 30. I was only a little older than you, but I'd been.
When was this, by the way?
When?
What year was this?
Yeah, this was 2015. Yeah. Okay. This was, or 2014, or I think it was 2015. Yeah, I think it was 2015.
Okay.
I know I was 30, so yeah, 2015. And it just, all of a sudden it hits me like, I don't care anymore. And then I just realized, like, it's over.
Yeah, just like that.
It ended right in that moment. And I was just pacing still. I was just crying in the fucking slots. Just walking back and forth crying.
Oh my god.
That it just fucking ended like this. It's not even that, it's not because I'm busted out. It's because like I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
I've had enough of this. It's like I have taken too many hits. I've taken too many shots. I've reached my threshold. You don't get a fucking. It's not like your car when the low fuel light comes on.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had a low fuel light on. Like all of a sudden, bang! I'm out of gas, and it was a soul crushing moment because it's like you come all this way, you put all this time and all these years, and you're pushing it as far as you can, and then all of a sudden, now it ended, and it felt good in a way because it's like, okay, sometimes people forget that you can actually get to the end of your goal. You can actually finish it. Yeah. You don't just keep your nose to the grindstone for the rest of your fucking life. So it felt nice in that sense, but God, I mean, it was devastating. And then, then for a while, I just felt like this athlete who's just doesn't want to retire, doesn't want to leave, doesn't want to get out of the league. He's past
Michael Jordan on the Wizards.
Yeah, he's past his prime, but he thinks he's still got a little something left.
Sure.
So like, take a lot of time off, come back. It's the Summer World Series of Poker. All right, I ain't done yet. I'm going back to the Bellagio, play 10-20, and then I lost 10,000 again. And just sent me right back into the fucking hole. So I'm not saying any of this is going to happen to you, okay?
Yeah, thanks.
I'm not saying get ready, all right? I'm not even trying to warn you. I'm just saying nobody knows what their career trajectory could ever be like. The only thing we know is we're all going to have an insane career trajectory. No poker player has just like a normal, steady career. I mean, you see just how emotional you actually get. And you can't even, you access emotions you don't even realize were there.
Yeah. One moment, you're the biggest fucking idiot on the planet. And the next day, you're like, you're Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
It switches like that, for me at least.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've been trying to get back in the groove now, and I actually realize I feel better when I am playing all the time than when I'm taking time away. But when I get fucking avalanche like I did yesterday, I mean, I always advise to just not play for a day or two after you get stormed. Yeah. Just let it roll over and let yourself recover.
That's always been my rule. Yeah. How would you compare losing $8K in your parents' house, in your bedroom, childhood bedroom, to how you were feeling crying walking between the slots? Because you're right at the start of your career, you lose $8K. And then at the end of your high-stakes career, I guess you would call it, you lose 6,400. What would you compare those two moments,
It's a very good question, because when I got down $8K, not once but twice in the same day. Oh, by the way, I doubled up in an $8K pot with 9-5 offsuit at 5,000.
As one does.
Yeah, as one does, right. Yeah, I opened the button pot to 350 with 9-5 off, 4K deep.
Right.
Small blind called, 5 deuce tray flop. Top pair, that's like a royal, okay?
We're betting pot.
Yeah, oh, of course I pot.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not pot limit, it's pot only.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the way internet poker used to be. You just mash the pot button until you win.
Until you win.
Or lose.
Yeah. Right.
I get check raised, rip, call, he has ace jack, 10 outs, I hold. Easy game.
Easy game.
So, okay, but when I'm down 8K and not even thinking about what percentage of that is to my worth, wasn't thinking about anything, I was just massively stressed and frantic and just thinking I can't allow my day to go on this way. Right. I can't allow this to continue. But it's like I also know that I can only go so much deeper than this. I mean, I know I'm going to hit a wall at some point and just say that's enough. But it wasn't there yet, and I was extremely stressed, but just committed to it and relatively unfazed. Whereas this 6,400 17-hour day where I'm getting to the end of my rope, to the point where you think this is the first time poker put me in tears? I mean, this was just the last time it put me in tears while rigging 5, 10, 10, 20. And it was just, well, like I said, there was like, as sad as it was, there was like a moment of like, where you're accepting it and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's you go home, you're feeling sad because, you feel like you didn't go out on top. But I mean, most athletes don't.
Most don't.
Most of them go out when they're a bum.
That's true.
I mean, I wouldn't quite say I felt like a bum, but like,
no.
It just, this isn't the same thing to me anymore. So, but on your way, before you came out to Vegas, I mean, were there any like moments of doubt you ever had? Did you ever have any really bad losses on a particular day that made you second guess it? Or how soon did you have any moments after coming to Vegas where you're second guessing even being here after you have a bad couple weeks? Because if you're only winning $30 an hour at 2.5, you're going to be swinging a lot.
Swinging nonstop.
Yeah.
I always kind of thought, like, if I give myself enough time and if I don't run out of money, I'm going to figure this out and be a winner, be a big enough winner that it's worth it enough. The bigger thing for me was, like, am I going to run out of money? Am I going to quit? But I kind of always thought, like, I'm working hard at it. I'm making friends who are better than me, who are helping. I'm a smart enough guy. If I don't run out of money and I keep going after it, I'll become pretty good. And that was kind of always my mindset with it, to be honest.
So you never stopped believing in yourself?
No. It was a real possibility that I was just going to go broke, but I kind of thought, like, if I don't go broke, it'll work. That was my mindset.
Yeah, for as down and dejected as myself as I would get, I felt like I always believed that I belong here and that I can do this. And it's hard because we don't have any teammates. I mean, we have friends, but at the end of the day, we're only looking out for ourselves. I mean, even if you have a backer, you're still, like, you're the one. The backer can have a significant role in your career, but, like, you're the player. I mean, you're the one who's got to get out there and do it. I mean, you're the one who's got to remind yourself that you're going to be able to do this and that you are doing it. And that just because you're losing doesn't mean you're not doing it. We all think of this as winning and losing every day, but we really shouldn't.
No. When you don't have a sample behind you to point to that kind of shows you, hey, I'm winning XX number. Yeah, it's not going great, but hey, I'm a pretty big winner. That's when it can really fuck with your head, where it's like, wow, maybe I am just the worst, because you don't have any data to point to. That's like, maybe you're not a super crusher, but you're a winner. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think when I first got here, the reason I was so stressed and hard on myself because I needed to see myself do it for a couple of years.
Right.
Before I feel like I'm not just running good, I've actually proven something. It's been enough time. It's like any up-and-coming baseball player. I mean, it's like he could have a great first season. He's not a proven player.
Do it for 4 years.
Yeah, you can't just start penciling him in until he's done it year in and year out and overcome his slumps and work through his struggles and identify weaknesses and improved upon them.
100%. Yeah, it's if you don't have anything to point to and you're trying to play poker full time, it's gonna be a pretty rough. At least for me, it was a rough time.
So how did you feel the first time you were playing higher? I mean, did you feel nervous? Did you feel like some people feel normal and some people get crazy about it?
It was a weird thing for me because I had spent so much time playing online poker. Like, that was where I learned how to play online, and that was where most of my volume was for years. So I was used to playing pretty tough lineups. So then when I moved up, it was like, well, compared to online, this is still a pretty soft lineup, So in that sense, I wasn't intimidated by, like, the skill level of the players. But I would say what I did, I was, like, trying to do too much. Like, I would end up in these spots where, like, you really don't need to bluff and you don't need to be thinking at, like, a super high level. And I would still be, like, trying to play GTO or, like, my version of GTO, whatever that looks like, And that was really where I got into trouble when I moved up in stakes, I would say. Just trying to do a little bit too much, giving them a little bit too much credit. Kind of the classic thing of when you move up, you're, like, worried that everyone's going to be taking a shot at you, blah, blah, blah. And my response was just trying to do a little bit too much, I would say.
Yeah, that's, like you said, it's the common response for being unfamiliar with those games. When I jumped into 5-10 and 10-20 at the Borgata, I think I was not doing that. I think I was perceived as the biggest nit at the table the whole time. So I actually felt pretty comfortable and pretty normal. I mean, maybe it's not because I was moving up. Maybe it's just because I was just finally playing some live poker. I mean,
yeah,
I hadn't even played that much 2-5. I mean, I went up to upstate New York and played at Turing Stone a small handful of times. But other than that, everything I played was online. The only time I started to feel that was maybe one of the first few times I played 25-50.
That's a big game.
Yeah, then I started to feel like I'm stepping outside my normal level of play, where, you know, you just got to do the same things that got you there. Like, you know, a Major League Baseball player, his swing is his swing.
That's what got him to the big leagues.
Yeah, just do the same things that got you there, and then you adjust as you see fit. But I think when people start moving up, they start trying to make these drastic adjustments before anything has even happened yet. Like, I remember I opened with pocket threes from early position, and that's fine. But even that, it felt out of character, because back in the day, you could people open limped.
Yeah, you just limp that hand.
Yeah, it was like, you can just open limp this hand. I usually would, but this time I raised with threes, and I'm already saying, like, what are you doing? Like, and then the big blind calls. And I don't remember the flop. I think it was Jack High. He check calls the flop. I'm like, what am I doing? Like just barreling here. And then the turn comes and I barrel again. And then he just rips it in my face. And I just fucking fold. And I'm just thinking I just lost not that big of a pot for 25-50. But like in terms of absolute dollars, it feels like I just torched all this money. What the fuck am I doing?
Right.
And now I look back at it now, and I'm fine with what I did. I'm fine with opening that hand. I'm fine with double barreling it. But at the time it didn't make sense, because that's not the way I was thinking back then. I would think just open limb, try and hit your set, and then if you don't hit the set, then you're probably not going to get too aggressive. But yeah, that's a disease or a trap that's easy to fall into, is you just start getting too fancy because you feel like you have to prove yourself, or you just overestimate the competition. Or you think that they think you're scared money. You start calling down in spots where
they just have it.
Where like they just fucking have it. It's it's not. You eventually realize this isn't that much different from the game I just came from. I mean, it's different, but it's not as different as we perceive it to be. And you know, I'm sure it happens at 2-5 too. I mean, it's people who move up from 1-3, or if they only play 500 cap from their little town, and now they're playing at the Win 2-5. This big
boy
this game. Big prestigious room. It's just a very glamorous place, and you know, you got me with this New York resting bitch face that just
staring everyone down,
just look like he just wants to eat your guts, and it's just like and you know, it could be a spot where I have it, and I'm just value betting a size that I think is going to work, and they just think, fuck this guy, fuck, he's bullying me, and then you just fuck, and ideally you're like schooling him with like second pair or something. You're not nutted. You're just sending your calling card.
Doesn't it feel good to like own the guy who you can kind of tell is taking a shot and just smack him back down a little bit?
Oh God, that's the most satisfying thing in the world. I mean, I think Stu Unger said like the best type of player is the best, or I think he said either the best kind of fish or the most satisfying player to beat are the players who know just enough to get themselves into trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Because then they're going to have some know-how, but they're going to be predictable too.
That is like, if you're a good player, that is kind of exactly who you want to be up against.
Yeah. There's a lot of mistakes they won't make, but they're not going to put you in a tough spot, and you're just going to get a huge percentage of your decisions correct.
You know how they're going to think.
Yeah. You're just always a step ahead of them, and you're just going to be tying them up in knots.
Yeah.
So,
that's exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when a person should take a shot. I mean, I think it's just an intuition thing. Maybe one day you wake up and you decide it's time. I mean, I'm sure you'd agree, like, you know, don't get too analytical about this. Don't think, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. Then, like, it's like, just get in there and do it.
if you know you're, like, let's say you played 1,000 hours of 2-5 and you're winning $50 an hour, you're more than likely beating 5-10. If you want to take a shot, take a shot. Like, the game isn't that much different.
I agree. I mean, and it's like, I feel like when you're new to these games, you don't game select quite as much because you just want to get in there and do it, and you're not afraid of anything. You might overcompensate, but at the same time, you're also not afraid. That's why you're doing it, you know?
No, yeah. If you know you're a winner in whatever game you're playing, like a solid winner, you're probably beating the stake above you. And, like, just getting in there and seeing what happens is, like, do it responsibly, but it's a good idea.
Let me tell you about the biggest pot I ever lost, okay? I was playing 50-100 at the Win in 2013. I referenced this game a few weeks ago, but not this hand. We were playing with this hotel owner having some kind of midlife crisis, this fucking Asian guy who would lose. I think he lost at least $1 million over a few months.
Just dusting it to feel something.
I think, yeah, right. Yeah. He just wanted to feel something.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
So I get into a hand with King Jack of clubs, and I raise to 400, and the big blind is Ben Hamnet, and he 3-bets to 1,300, and I got about 13.5 when the hand started. And I guess calling is reasonable here, right?
Yeah, I would mostly call.
I think calling is probably what you should do. I wanted to fold because I thought I was about to get hit by a train. Something felt big and bad about his 3-bet, and he went with a very big size because just him going to 1,300, like, or maybe it was 13, whatever it was. I mean, people were going 3x or less. So the fact that he went a little above 3x was already alarming.
That's telling, yeah. Sure.
And then the flop comes Jack high.
Oh boy.
And he bet like 2,000, I think. And I can just call.
Yeah.
I raised to 7,000.
Oh boy.
He ships it, and I just call off.
And he's got the queen.
And he's got aces. And he turns an ace. Dead.
Good game.
And I could have just called flop and then just folded at some point in the hand. And then that would have been it. I mean, that would have been like, stay in your lane. Don't try and thread the needle. But
right.
Before when I I told myself I'm not going to play more than one bullet in this game, but I couldn't go out on that note because I knew I should have just folded pre because I knew something was wrong, and I just insisted on doing this 180 and screwing myself into the ground anyway.
The guy who stacked you, he just plays big, like that's the thing.
Well, actually, none of us were playing that big regularly. We're only playing this big because he wants to.
Okay.
In fact.
Yeah.
These guys, I thought were better than me at 10-20, but I actually thought because the stakes are so much higher and none of us want to do this, I actually thought that might allow me to close the gap a little bit. Because it's like right. None of us are in our normal level of comfort, and that could actually end up benefiting me.
Yeah.
But it was just the whole thing of just realizing like I would have made this fold. I make this fold my whole life.
Yeah, you just don't call this hand pre-flop.
I don't get involved in these situations. Now I'm in the biggest game of my life, 50-100, and with a 20 came in, and I'm punting with top pair in it. What the fuck are you doing? I mean, this is the most dangerous part about moving up. It's not just the fact that you're not ready for the stakes. This is when you start psyching yourself out.
Yeah. Okay. I've talked about this before with people. When you're taking a shot, you're not gonna play your best. You're just not. Like, it's not going to be your A game. So, like, you kind of are hoping to run good because you're playing your B game, Like, you're not giving it your A+ game because you're thinking about so much other bullshit. So, you kind of are looking to run good to have the shot stick, It's sick when you think of it that way, but it's going to be so rare that someone plays their A+ game when they take a shot.
No, that's a good point because it's like, you're moving up to a higher level. You're not familiar with what you're doing. It's only natural to think you're going to screw up a little bit more often.
Right.
And you're playing against people who are probably going to screw up a little bit less often. So that makes your mistakes even more glaring.
Yeah.
But because the stakes are so high, your expected win rate by the hour will still exceed, maybe even well exceed, your normal game because the stakes are huge.
Right.
But I could not allow myself to leave on that note. Even though I only told myself I'm not playing more than one bullet of this, I told myself, like, you fucking belong here. Like, you just have to listen to yourself. God damn it. It's like, you should have lost $400 at hand. Now you're losing a $27,000 pot. The fuck are you doing? So I pulled out another 20 in my shirt pocket, and it's like, all right, I know the flag is up on me now. I know everybody is getting ready for me to unravel, but I was like, all right, you cannot allow this to happen. And that's actually part of why I used to move up in stakes when I would play online and I get tilted and I would start playing higher, because I might take it a little, I might not spew as hard because it's so much more money now. Like, all right, you cannot fucking, like, just start opening.
Fuck up.
Yeah, like, the money's getting in a lot faster now, so just take it easy. So, like,
Sure.
I still don't think this is the way to do it, but that was the one part of it that made sense. So I stayed on point, and Ben, who hit me in that 27K pot, I hit him back in like a $21,000 pot where someone raised to, this is street fighting play, okay? Someone raised to 300. I think Ben made it 900, and I quickly cold called with aces.
Okay, with the quick call.
Yeah, the quick cold call with aces, and the other guy called.
Okay.
And the flop wasn't that great. It was 7-5-4, 2 diamonds. I do not have a diamond. Ben bets, yeah, he bet like 1,400. He bet about half pot, which was way less of a C bet he used in the other pot. And this time I knew, I mean, I got aces also, but like I was like, this time I know he's not that strong. I was like, all right, I know he doesn't have that strong of a hand this time.
Yeah.
Because of the sizing. In fact, Ben, who's a great player, has had a great career, out of the regs in that game, he was one of the regs I thought I might be able to play the best against. And he was closer to my right. So he bets 1,400. I'm praying the other guy folds, and he does. Okay. Turn is a flush card, but it's a queen. And Ben checks, and I think he's capped, and I think I got him. So I bet 3,300 into like 5,500, I think.
Yeah.
And he calls. Gin River is a deuce. And he checked. And I bet 4,700. And he called.
And you're the best in the world.
And yeah, I'm like, okay. I'm fucking back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Back on the map, okay? It's like, it was a big moment of resilience. I'm not down over 20K anymore. Like, okay, I'm only down 10,000 now. Like, all right, there's hope. So then there's this guy on my left, this guy named Chuck, who was like, at that time, he was like our version of Durr. He was fucking nuts. Chuck would play like 40-hour sessions on Adderall. He'd be a fucking maniac. He's just a maniac.
I think I've heard stories of this.
Yeah. Chuck was a freaking legend. I still see him sometimes. Yeah. He would have the sideshow bob hair. I mean, this guy, you know, like I said at the start of this, when I was with the guys when we were running the streets, you got all these guys who were under 30 years old, and like they were all over the place playing
50, 100.
Yeah, playing 50, 100, 10, 20, 5, 10, no cap every day.
Different world.
Yeah. So I think he got bluffed by the whale. And
oh no.
And Chuck, who, you know, he can tilt. Then he raises to 300. The whale calls. I call big blind with king jack off. And the flop was ace jack 7 all hearts. So I got a pair and I have the king of hearts. And I check raised Chuck from 700 to 2,100 and he called. And the turn was a small heart. So I got the nuts. Yeah. I bet 4,000 into 5,000. He calls. And the river is the 8 of hearts. So the 10-9 of hearts is now a straight flush. I don't have the nuts anymore. Not that folding is going to enter the picture. Even though if I do get jammed on the river, I probably am beat. Right. I bet 9,400 into 13K. And I could not believe Chuck called me. I mean, it's because this is the freaking blood and guts of playing higher. You know, like I stack off with king jack to Ben's aces and everyone thinks I'm about to tilt, but kept it on point, hit Ben back with the aces, then Chuck gets bluffed, and then bang, he fucks up against me. I mean, we're all fighting over this one whale's money. This was like the truest poker game I've ever sat in because nobody said a word to anybody about anything. This guy's falling asleep at the table, the whale. He's been playing for 24 hours. And we're all duking it out with each other. After that hand, I was 43K deep. I was like, all right, I'm out of here. It was like, I felt like I had a walk-off home run. I felt like it was, that whole night was like a career-defining night.
It sounds like.
Yeah, I feel like
you're just like trading cars back and forth with people.
Yeah, I mean, it was like this coming of age night. So now it leads me to wonder, like, have you ever had any nights like that where you're playing higher than you used to? It doesn't matter how big you're playing. Where like you're really getting buried and you're feeling like you got death calling your name. I mean, I'm into this game for 40,000. I mean, it would have not taken that much for me to have just been down 40K in this game. And it's like, okay, I would have just gone home, but like that would not have been a pleasant ride home or a pleasant thing to wake up to the next day. But like, do you have any war stories yet like that? I mean, or you're only in your first year playing bigger.
I do, but it was in PLO. I had a hand literally yesterday where I was stuck 3.5K in a double board PLO game. I get it all in with like we're playing double board PLO, and I get it all in with the second nut straight on one board, and then like a really shitty draw on the other board. We get it all in for like 6K, 3 ways. And I scoop half the pot, so now I'm only stuck about 1,500, 1,800. But if I had lost this hand, I would have lost like 6.5K playing a game I never fucking play. Which is just like beyond tilting, you know? It's like a whole other level of like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
I dusted 6.5K playing PLO. Like, that's not... I don't want to be that guy, you know? So literally just that. Like, I'm just buzzing from... I didn't even get unstuck, but just not having it be like a disaster day when I'm playing a game I don't usually play. That counts, I think. For me, I can relate to that.
That sounds like a great war story.
Yeah.
You're getting buried in a game you don't even touch. You're probably wondering, why the fuck did I even come in here? I'm trying to, like, get things done here in Holub. I've been grinding the 5-10 game, and now I'm getting my throat cut in this stupid fucking D-Gen game.
Because the floor told me to play it.
Yeah. Because the floor said, I mean, it's like, I'm sure you have an edge in the game, but you don't quite know what your edge really is. I mean, this double board game is very new to us. I mean, look, I haven't talked to anybody, but just off the top of my head, how much do we really know about this game?
You need to know enough to when you should say pot.
Yeah. I mean, how big of an edge can you really realize, and how long does it take to realize that edge? I mean, I go off 1,500 hours in just regular Hold'em cash, but like a game like this, it's like where the variables are just all over the place. It's like, how many hours does it take to see what you're worth?
By the way, you're seeing about 10 hands an hour because everyone's a fish, so they're playing incredibly slow.
Yeah.
And just like... There's a lot to think about. So you're seeing way fewer hands, and the variance is just, like, through the fucking roof. But that game is kind of a hidden gem as of now. The 2020 double board.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Well, look, if you're looking to run it up at something, I mean, that's a game where it could happen because there's no cap and a freak accident or two, and you could walk away with, maybe not quite tournament money, but... something for not that much time, something pretty huge for a lot of time put in.
These guys are sitting with 6 or 7K, and I'm not exaggerating. They really can't read their hand in some spots. This guy thought he had a boat. He did not have a boat. You know, it's for how much money is sitting on the table, it's an unbelievably soft game.
Yeah, well, that's maybe the ultimate mindfuck of poker is when you're playing against people who literally are not aware of what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're still succeeding. I mean, it's like... I mean, this is like shooting a ball at the wrong hoop. I mean, or this is like holding a baseball bat upside down. I mean, how can you succeed by making such an egregious mistake, yet poker still enables this to happen?
Yeah, and that's why we can play poker for a living, right? But it's... when you see it, when it's that extreme, it's a complete mindfuck. It really is.
Yeah. Good Lord. Because, you go to a game like this, and if you get smoked in it, you'd be wondering, like, what the hell, what the fuck did I even come to this game for? It's like, I don't play this game.
Happened?
Yeah, I know. It's like, out of all the places I get my ass kicked, it's like this. Yeah. It's like, I don't even work on this.
This dumb, degenerate game that I'm playing in because, like, Daryl from Montana has 10K and has never played PLO in his life.
Yeah, but you know what? This might be your best attribute yet because you need this kind of fearlessness to just see an edge and go after it and not worry about whether or not this is something you've been working on all your life.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, And I get to say this now because one day I look up. I mean, life is so fast and so slow at the same time. It's like, it feels like 2 days ago I was the fucking new guy in Vegas. It's like I ain't the young up-and-comer anymore. You know, like, oh my God, I'm the veteran. Yeah. So I'll tell you, like, you could accomplish all kinds of things in poker because you got, your mind is where it needs to be in order to freaking take people to town, because you're just seeing edge, you're going for a big game, you're going for a big spot, and you're just not afraid. I mean, and that's how I was when I played hard. I was just like, give it to me, baby. I just like, I want to fucking roll around in the blood and guts. I'm not like that anymore, but like, you know, if I had a bad day, lose 5,000-6,000, it sucks, but like within a few hours, I'm just thankful for the privilege.
Yeah, 100%. You're pretty lucky if you can lose 6K at a casino and have it not fuck up your life at all.
Yeah. Most people, I mean, they cry themselves to sleep.
Yeah.
And now you're just like, all right, when's the next one?
Yeah.
Well, all right, John, thanks a lot for coming in today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
This is John Arndt, everybody. He's not in the tournaments all the time, but you never know. He's in there once in a while, so you might hear his name one day. If not, he's got a long, bright future in front of him, pretty much as long as he wants, because he's one of the new swinging dicks in Vegas. He's been out here, I guess, about 4 years, but he's in the high limit ring now, and he's just getting started, so it's going to be a lot of fun to see what he does in his career.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Well, all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk again soon. We'll see you next time.